Hi, everyone. Isaac, Christina, can you hear me okay?
Yes, it's loud and clear.
Give me 1 second, okay? All right. Hold on. Let me turn my camera quickly. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, please.
All right. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Where are the people coming from here today? Are they from Ghana or where are they from? Where are you guys from? Where are you guys you joining from, guys? Hi.
From
Botswana. Okay.
Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm joining from
Nigeria.
Ghana.
Okay. Ghana. Okay.
I'm joining from Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay.
I am joining from Ghana.
Ghana. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm also joining from Ghana.
oh, Ghana. Okay. All right. It's
So roots
uh,
from Ghana.
Ghana. Nice. Um, I particularly like about the session here because we get to see people from different countries, and I am happy to go through our information today. And my name is James King.
Hello.
I am hi. I'm in Canada right now, and we are glad to have you all here today. Um, I will. So today, what we're gonna go through is uh, basically why your company is recommending okay, why your company is recommending the LPN pathway and what are the benefits and how you can start. And if you guys haven't make up your mind, it might be helping to see this. And I'm pretty sure that this will uh, give a little more details about the concept and the program and the future pathway and what it means for yourself and your family as well. So thanks for joining again, and let me go through what we're gonna be presenting today. So it's about um, so I believe many of you are already aware what NCLEX is and what NCLEX does when you guys have passed the exam. And NCLEX allows or enables you to be able to work as a RN in either United States or in Canada. And at this time, the 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 most problematic concerns is not about whether you have NCLEX or not. It's about how can you navigate and how can you choose the right pathway for yourself. And let me give you a few points about so that you guys can do the reality checks. First, people can ask, can we still go to United States today, now? The answer we know is no. Um, it's not possible to go to United States even if you have a license, because of the government mandate or regulatory frameworks does not allow you to go to United States. Uh, we have no timeline for that. The second question is, hey, James and team, are you able to find a job as RN? The answer is we could, yes, but chance is low. And many nurses who are not in Canada do not have the information why. Why why it has become so difficult for the NCLEX passer and the RN license holders to find and get a job as RN in Canada. So there are a couple of different reasons why. And the first reason is Canada produces over 20,000 new graduates every year across the country. So those 20,000 new grads who pass the NCLEX and trained in Canada, they get the priority. They get the first seat. So the big hospitals in Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, or Ottawa, Edmonton, Halifax, these hospitals, they hire these nurses. The overseas nurses can rebut that, oh, we have more experience, which is very true and which is a strength. And that can be appealed, but there are two reasons why they don't hire, or they're fading away from hiring international nurses as RN. First, abundant number of Canadian nurses that are trained in Canada. Second, over time, it has been identified that there is more risk bringing nurses from overseas because of the medical practice gap. It's not about your knowledge, it's not about your clinical experience, it's not about your expertise built over time, but it's more so with the systematic difference between Canada and other countries. And what has resulted was, when the nurses from overseas came over, they require 6 to 8 month additional training before they can practice by themselves. And that okay, um, that puts the shift. Why? Can you unmute, please? Can you unmute, please?
You would have to mute them yourself.
Christina, can you unmute him, please? Okay. All right. All right. Good. Okay. So that is the conventional path. Okay. Let me continue here. Okay. So that is considered as a conventional path that people used to be familiar with that pathway when it comes to passing NCLEX and working as RN. What we're trying to help the nurses is, well, let's try to be a little more like advanced, and strategic in terms of finding a pathway to be in Canada. First, US option is not there anymore. So you got to choose between UK, Canada, or GCC countries, or maybe Australia. And I'm going to go through that a little later, but when it comes to Canada, as an LPN, there are a couple of advantages. It's faster, and exam is easier than NCLEX. And third, you actually can bring your family over. If you're married and have kids, you can bring your spouse and bring your kids. So we have hundreds of people that are already working with us, and there are a couple of universities that we have signed MOU to, uh, you know, train their new grads and alumni to find an international pathway through our company. So the real needs are with LPNs, because LPNs are not like focused on one part. You need LPNs for community care, long-term care, nursing homes, hospitals, regional hospitals, and covering every single region, not just the main parts. And RNs, there are more demands at the hospitals, so they want to go to the big hospitals. They want to have the city living, and which leaves the regional areas with a critical shortage. And that's where the demands that needs to be filled. And these are the reasons why the nurses work with us. And um, which I'm going to cover a little later too. For LPN, your starting salary will be somewhere around 60,000 to 70,000 Canadian dollars. I don't know what's in your own currency, but you could probably convert that into your currency when you have time. There's a financial stability part. Second, you don't have to be apart from your family, so there is integration part as well. And your spouse will be entitled to open work permit, which means you're not the sole the breadwinner. You can actually work with your husband or your spouse, your husband or your wife can also be entitled to working in the country with the right permit. And the timeline is a little more realistic than indefinitely waiting for the offer for RN positions. So there are a lot of NCLEX passers, RN license holders made big step to the transition part to work towards the LPN pathway. And when you think of it, even you working as RN in your own country, RN is a person that leads and manages, like LPNs or the UCPs or PCAs. You direct them to the right direction to how to care your patients. So LPNs are the ones who are actually working the front line with the UCPs to make sure that the daily care is there. So it's very contradicting that there are only 5,000 new LPN grads are coming out of the college, whereas there are triple and quadruple times of RN graduates coming from university every year. So there are urgent shortages across the country for LPNs in long-term care, community care, and nursing homes and hospitals. And LPNs are one of the essential occupations in the country that it is going to be expedited for the work permit processing and the permanent residency processing. So I want you to think about something that you have never thought about in the past, and why this is going to help you in the next couple of years. So the first step is you go through your licensing and exam and full license, the employment. You come here as an LPN, and Canadian recruitment structure has a direct connection to the immigration, which means you're not just coming here to work. like GCC countries or UK, you actually are given an opportunity to permanently settle with your family in Canada. So you can simultaneously apply for the permanent residency. And while this is being processed, people who already have NCLEX passed, they can work on the RN license. And people who have not started the NCLEX process can also start the NCLEX process for the RN license. Until you become a permanent resident, technically you cannot work as RN because you are sponsored as LPN, but the life change decision will be coming right after you become a permanent resident. Once you become a permanent resident, you are guaranteed for the freedom of mobility, freedom of your any change that you can make, which means with the RN license, you can either be promoted as RN or you can find a RN position in any other locations. So the gateway to the country is more important than picking and choose what's better for you at this time right now. Sometimes people are only looking at their current situation and they don't want to be changed, but there are pathways that will help you find the right option once you're able to come to the country. So enter, work, become a PR, and you can upgrade to the next level. And there's a bigger reason that I want to share with you in the next slides. So the most important part is how can you access this opportunity, especially those who have NCLEX, passed. Would you take an opportunity when it is given? The other one is that this will help you choose the flexibility as you move to the country. The LPN has a significant advantage. First, you are in higher demands and you are supported through immigration pathway and you can fill the shortage roles. That means you are going to be given more hours and employer will be supportive throughout the process because they don't want to lose you. They don't want to lose the valuable assets, which is LPNs. Right now in Canada, the LTCs and community care centers and nursing homes, they hire registered nurses as LPN, pay $10 more because that's how short that they're facing right now. So more LPNs are being welcomed than RNs in the regional side, and that it is an opportunity. And here's a little bit of financial analysis that I can give it to you because people may ask, okay, what I expect when I come over to Canada. And as I said, the 55 is a very low end for LPNs. From my experience with my employers, they pay at least 60,000 up to 70, 80,000 depending on the provinces. And you get taxed, and then you'll be getting 35 to 45 up to 5,000 a month, and that's the single income. And that single income itself is sufficient. But when you think about your spouse also working with an open work permit, depending on where they work, additional income will be warranted, which means as a nurse, you're not going to suffer financially in Canada because it's one of the high paid jobs in this healthcare occupations. So as I advise, there is a dual income potential with the open work permit. And so in Canada, there are two different healthcare coverage. One is provincial healthcare, which everyone with the right permits are eligible to get the healthcare coverage. But for those who are working for the companies, they're also entitled to private benefits. Private benefits means you will be getting the benefit through company, something that is not covered through your provincial health coverage, such as like massage, like the physiotherapy, like I can't think of it right now, but like dental, all that it is through the private healthcare coverage. So having this coverage will also be applied to your family members. So your spouse and your kids, they're all gonna be under your benefit plans, which will be beneficial for the family, especially if you have kids. And I have 3 kids, and once a month or once twice once in 2 months, we gotta go to see doctors or any services that need for the kids. So it's really handy to have this. And as a company that provides a high degree of social assistance, that could be a benefit for your family. So here is the phase that we're going to be going through together, unless you have already started with our team. So you're going to be going through your verification of documents. So credentialing is the first step. You'll be advised by our team to submit your ECA application, your LPN license application, get a license from your nursing board from Ghana, Nigeria, Botswana, Kenya, whichever countries. And once this is being processed, our IENs are starting to work with us to prep the exam portion. And so far, we have 0 people failed, and which is pretty good rate. And I have pretty good confidence on you guys. The reason is I have noticed that you are well knowledged in your area, and you work so hard. So you do not waste time preparing for the exam when you do the preparation with us. And our educators are dedicated to give you overview, the concept of Canadian system, the review of case studies, and that's what I am quite confident about it. And I'm gonna show you one thing here, folks. So this is our education platform that we built. So this is intellectual property that we built with our educator team. And the moment that you sign with us, you'll be given access to the whole curriculum, which is based on the blueprint. I'll get to the question a little later, Ruth, okay? The foundations, nursing skills, the growth and development, maternity, pediatrics, medical surgical series, pharmacology, perioperative nursing, mental health, community health, and safety part. So every sub-modules, every sub-modules have the lecture videos here. And every sub-module also has the course materials and the scope difference between the RN and LPN. If you put your time a little bit here, you're gonna pass. Here's my guarantee. And every module we have. So this is very compressed version, easy to memorize, easy to study with, and this is also complemented with our exam preparation. So you'll be given, so everyone will be given, this is my admin platform, but everyone will be given the remediation map, and also will be given the progress report. So the progress report will get you to see where you stand with the progress of your exams, your practice questions, quiz, and etc. And that's the part of the education part that the universities are working with us from Cameroon, and we're even working with a few universities in Ghana to partner with us for the international training. So our program is going to be entering into a few countries, and in a nutshell, that will be supporting a lot of nurses in different countries. And once you get a full license after passing the exam, you'll be moving on to the immigration piece, which I talked about. So currently, the credential verification, we look at West application. So it's taking between 4 to 8 weeks on average, and also the licensing piece, depending on how strong your application is and whether you already have RN license or not, this could take 2 weeks. This could take 8 weeks. And what I have noticed from Ghana and Nigeria particularly is the how fast you're able to actually get the verification of license from the nursing board in Ghana and Nigeria will change the timeline. So this is actually from the experience that we have from our past candidates, and that actually drive the timeline. So please be noted with that. And I already went through the platform. So every week we have the live session with our educators, and that touches every topic for that particular week. So next week gonna be medical surgical, there'll be pharmacology or mental health or community health, but our educators cover good amount of time with you guys to get you understand the concept, the materials, and the studies, and the high level overview. So right now we offer 8 weeks or 12 weeks, but I figure that 8 weeks is really tight. 8 weeks is for somebody who's going to take the exam, next month or so. But 12 weeks is giving you enough time to, digest and understand, plenty of time to practice. So that has been a recommendation. And once you pass exam, we're matching you with the employer, which is very different from traditional academic provider. So our company is rooted with the different things, which is the academic transition, employment, placement, and immigration piece together. So that it is very differentiated from other companies. And once employment offer is done, then you'll be going through the nomination phase with our legal team, and work permit will be done also with our legal team. And Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Botswana, the timeline is really quick. Once you submit the work permit, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks only. So this could always change, but right now that's the timeline that we're looking at right now. And this is important part, permanent residency. The moment that we submit the application, this will take up to 15 or 18 months, depending on the volume of the applications. But that's what we're looking at right now, folks. And this is much better than any other countries can offer. And here is going to be important fact that I'm going to mention and I'm going to point out for you to be able to envision what will be ahead of you in the next couple of years. We went through this one, and this is just example that we have for one of our nurses from Egypt. So how fast nurses is, sorry, let me hear. Okay, Egypt, it used to take 181 weeks for work permit approval, but we got in 18 weeks because it's an essential occupation. So even if you look at the timeline on the website, that may not be accurate. Rather, that could be actually slower than what you guys can expect because LPN is a licensed and also essential occupation in the country at this time. And this is the license that you will see once you go through the conditional license and the full license in the future. So, okay, here's a game changer. Once you become a permanent resident, after 2.5 to 3 years, here's big fact. You can apply for Canadian citizenship. Canadian citizenship will open door for overseas, other countries. This is significant. And what I want all of you folks to realize is we're not just asking you to complete the LPN license. We want you to be able to see what you can expect in the next couple of years. People come to us because they see this as a feasible possibility that can happen, and that has happened many cases. The moment you have a Canadian passport, United States, you don't even need to wait for like 3 years. The moment you have an offer, you can go to the day after. And Australia, as they're under the same Commonwealth, offer is easy. The RN license from Canada is well recognized in Australia, so you don't even have to take the another exam to practice in Australia. Transfer is immediately can be done, and UK is another good destination for many countries, especially Ghana and Nigeria. And you don't have to worry about applying for work permit over and over with your Ghanaian or Nigerian passport. It will change the whole concept. Linda, I'll get to that later, but I think that question is very, very related to what I already said in the very beginning of the presentation. So the opportunities will be out there for you, and I want you to think about this one, not the not just coming here as an LPN license holder. The few different layers of change in the next couple of years will get to you here, and you and your family will realize that that's the right decision that you make back in the couple of years back. So here's the pathway. So most of you are at IEN stage here. And starting the process, LPN, you become a permanent resident, Canadian citizenship, and you can go anywhere. This could happen in the next 5 years. And that's could be long, could be short, depending on how you look at it. But especially with the kids, it's fast. It's pretty fast. Ruth, no, sponsorship funding is not available. This is not something that we invest in you. You have to invest yourself to be here, because this is the pathway that can get you here on an expedited way. So we do not support the funding part. Let me get to the question part, because I think I have covered the all the slides for today. So I will get to the question piece. Let me go to the question piece here. Give me 1 second, folks. Yeah, you raised a hand. Do you have any questions? You can go ahead, please. You raise your hand, Schneezer. You're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
I sent it through the message box. My question.
Okay. You mentioned that the LPN license exam can be taken online exam anywhere. No, it can. It is done online for LPN exam. We have a lot of people already taking exams in the last couple of months, and even yesterday, the individual from Ghana took the exam online. So it is administered online via proctoring system. Ruth, I answered the question for you. Linda, do you provide LPN employment? No, that's not true. We offer the employment piece in different provinces, but the reason that we recommended Newfoundland is because they waive the NNAS application. So NNAS is a National Nursing Assessment Service provider. So that has been the norm for the assessment piece. But Newfoundland integrated that piece into their own system, so they do their own assessment. So for any other provinces, you have to apply for NNAS. And let's say somebody did with Nova Scotia. That means we can use the NNAS report for Nova Scotia employment, not anywhere else. If you want to do change that, you have to submit the application again. But Linda, the answer is not really. If you want to get into NNAS piece, we can recommend either Alberta or Nova Scotia, which is likely be having more opportunities for the LPN license holders. So if you want the guideline and the information about the NNAS piece, we can help with that. let me check. Gloria, is there a way the agents can sponsor and deduct it from? So deduction from salary is illegal, so we cannot do that. That's not possible. Please, the credential evaluation. I think I covered that part for Ruth. If I already have West, what's next? Okay, Jeremiah, the next process is going to be LPN license application. So if you have applied for the application to our system, we can contact you. If not, Christina, can you send the link where Jeremiah is able to submit the application in the chat box? Sika or Sika, can a nurse come as an LPN before family follows? Yes, that's possible. So what we do is we apply for the immigration piece at the same time, but the moment that you get the work permit approval, you can come on your own to settle, which is actually a better option, and then later bring your family once you are settled in the country first. So the benefit of that is you're the only one who's going to be going through a chaotic situations like, that could normally happen during the settlement. A lot of people suffer as a family, but smart move that I think it is the applicants come here to settle for a couple of months and bring your family in the near future. Okay, I have a Bahamas license. Can I use it without the LPN exam? No, you cannot use any license, foreign license, to be able to practice in the country. You have to have either RN or LPN license to be able to practice as a nurse in the country here, Canada. So that license actually PeaceNet, Mickey, that will be evaluated during your verification for the LPN license. So that license has to be provided with the verification of record, which is VOR, from your nursing board. So that is one of the things that you have to go through. Is IELTS requirement, Isaac? That's a great question. So anybody in this room here completed education in English for your nursing, which I believe you have done it for Ghana, Botswana, Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon, or these countries have done in English. So for licensing piece, you do not need IELTS. However, for immigration, yes. Immigration, there is no exception. And IELTS or CELPIP or PT core is acceptable or you accepted as one of the means for the immigration piece. So if you are confident that you can get at least band 6 score, clear there right now. That's more strategic in terms of avoiding the delay in the process. So Isaac, I hope that answered your question. OG Dyke, please, LPN written online. Yes, it is. It's administered online system. Abio, please, I'd like to ask a question. What's your question?
Hello.
Hi,
Oh, thank you very much, James.
no problem.
I appreciate. Please, I would like to ask some questions, right? Because you know, because a lot of us have a Canadian license already, right? Let me just speak up from my own side. I have Canadian license. I have with British Columbia. I have with Nova Scotia. But we are not getting job as an international educated nurses, which you've explained, right? So this license will get expired, and you don't even have the requirement to renew it. So that's the reason why I want to ask about this LPN pathway. If peradventure you get the license, what if job is not coming? What if we are facing what we are facing right now? What is the process of renewal? How sure are we that we are still going to get the job within 1 year of getting the license. So that is my question. And I'm thinking maybe they can do it like the better pathway, whereby you will get a job, and then when you get a job, you will now go for the licensing. I'm just saying,
That's a great question, and then we've actually analyzed the options that you mentioned. So, I were you the one who actually sent us the email? Because I know that we had a candidate that holding license from Nova Scotia and British Columbia. Was that you?
I should be the one, but not today. I did not send a message today.
Okay.
Sometime last week.
Well, before, I guess. Have you sent
Yes.
us that email? Okay, well then it
Yes.
must be you. So if you already hold RN license in those provinces, especially Nova Scotia, applying for LPN license and getting the eligibility to take the exam will be very quick. How I know, because we had a candidate in the exact same situation, and he got the LPN eligibility, which means you can take the exam. The eligibility was cleared within 2 to 3 weeks. So if I were you, I would probably apply for LPN license right away. Given that you already went through RN license process, then you have it, then your application will be expedited. And the moment that you have the eligibility, and this is what I recommend, versus the part that we get a job offer and then apply a license, that is still, I mean, theoretically that's possible, but in reality, that's not how employer wants to receive the applications. They don't want any uncertainty. So if you, let's say, get a job offer, like we apply pending license, they don't even know when they can expect this person to be in the country. But if you already have a license after passing the exam, all they need to do is do the interview and then start the process. You know what I'm saying here? The delay portion is critical here, whether it's 2 months or 3 months. Because if you haven't applied for the license yet, then who knows how long it's gonna take, which can, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks. Get an exam date for a couple of weeks after. You wait for the result. That takes about 2 months as a whole, if not longer. So do you want us to make employer hanging for a couple of months while waiting for the full license, or do you want to clear the license and just get them to start the interview process right away? That is my point.
I understand your view, but I wish you can see from my home view that what if we get the license and we are not getting the job, the same thing we are passing through right now. So what is the process of renewal? So I just don't want to be in the same boat I am right now with 2 licenses without a job. So what if I now get the LPN and the job is not coming? What if they are not hiring international educated nurse? I just don't want to be stuck.
Well, I mean, that's a really great question. And my question is, would you not do anything? Would you gotta just wait for the license to be expired?
Thank you so much. You've answered my question.
Yeah. So I mean, there is uncertainty, but we have to still do it, and that will help us find the right employers for yourself on your behalf that you haven't been able to find right employers or getting a job offer from any of those 2 provinces on your own, right? So that's why you're coming to ask for help us to find the option on your behalf. So I hope that answered your question.
It does. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Let me
I have a question. My hands have been up for a long time.
I'm sorry about that.
Yes. My question is about all the requirements. You've already answered the first part of it, which you said the requirement for the IELTS to write the exam once you are from Ghana or any of the English-speaking countries, you are good to go. But my question is, if the IELTS will still be needed in the immigration process. So
Yes.
at what point in time should you write the IELTS? Is it when you are done with everything, you are done with the LPN exam before you write the IELTS? Or while in the process studying to pass your exams, that's when you have to be studying for the IELTS too. Which of them do you go first? And my second question is about the credentialing institutions. Currently, some of the countries, I think Kenya and Ghana, we have signed an MOU with this credentialing institution. It's called True Merit. I don't know if you have heard of them, True Merit or Godwit. Yeah, that they can evaluate our certificates and do the credentialing for us. So I don't know if your organization works particularly with only some credentialing institutions, or anywhere the credentialing comes from, you are okay to go with that. Those are my two questions. Thank you.
Could you say again the organization that you just mentioned, Ruben, if you don't mind, please?
Yeah, it's called Godwit. I think GODWIT, Godwit. And another name for the same people is called True Merit. True Merit, TRUMERIT, True Merit. I think they just signed an MOU with Kenya and Ghana to do the credential evaluation for us. Yeah, something like that.
And you said True Merit?
Yes, please. True Merit.
Yes, True Merit is recognized.
Okay, so that's one part of the question.
But hold on. So for NNA, yes, Ruben, that is recognized. But if we are to apply for Newfoundland license, I cannot confirm that. That has to be confirmed by the province, because the True Merit is used to be before CGFNS, which is in the United States. So if that's recognized by NNAS, then that portion is going to be okay. But for Newfoundland, that has to be confirmed. I hope you understand my point, okay?
Yes.
And the first part of your question is the English requirement, right? That it is essentially your choice whether you do it now or once you pass the LPN exam. That's your choice. But given your language proficiency, I don't see any issues getting a pretty good score as long as you put your time to practice a little bit. So it's your choice. As long as you have that as part of the immigration phase. But this is not just for Ruben, but for everyone. Minimum 6 is recommended because that's pretty much the only way that we can ensure that your English is decent. Anything less than 6 is a borderline that, like, is this person capable of communication? Because nurses have to be proficient with the communication. So that is the bottom line. But back to your question, Ruben, I think that's really up to you. If you're comfortable, if you can get over 6 easily, then do it now to clear. And if not, you can put your time some a little bit and then get it done in the next couple of months. I got
Good day,
a
sir.
few.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
hi.
Good day, sir.
Thanks for.
My name is Peace. I have a few questions to ask. Okay, talking about the credential evaluation. At first, when we started this process, I'm among the candidates who started the process earlier, no, but due to some financial constraints, I had to take a break. However, then I realized I reached out to Christina and she told me to use WES for my ICA, but I use because I don't have
ICS
BI,
is fine. ICS is fine.
I used ICES. So I couldn't use words because of the evaluating score. So, and I don't have BNSC, so I had to use ICES because I have my nursing degree is diploma. However, the ICES, I just got my evaluation. I checked my portal now and I'm told that my evaluation it has been evaluated and it has been sent. So for the ICES, I'm seeing that it is British Columbia, but I don't know if they will still have to send it to Newfoundland because when I was filling that form, I saw a place that talks about where the document is going to, which organization. I mentioned Global Health Solutions, and I also typed somewhere where I put Newfoundland. So I don't know if they will still send it to Newfoundland.
Let me answer the question for you. If that's the first question, I can answer the first question for you. So, simply, I mean, we can take a look at the reports, but you can ask ISS to send it to CLPNNL, which is the College of Licensing Practical Nurse Newfoundland. So they will need to have that delivered by the organizing education body. So I said should not have any problem directing the report to the CLPNNL. So I hope that answered your question. First question.
Yes, sir. Then my second question is concerning this CNL, the exam, the LPN exam.
Okay.
I heard somebody talking about if the exam is not done online or if the exam is done online. For example, now I want to ask, is this exam actually done online anywhere in the world, or do you have to go to Canada to write the exam?
No, as I advise to many, this can be done online, and I don't know if you see our screen, but our academic platform provides all the training, so you don't need and also many of them use RN materials to study. Don't do that. You're not gonna get the good result out of it. The scope is completely different between RN and LPN. Although I'm not a nurse, a lot of people fail because they study with the RN materials. So if we're thinking of that, you can come to us, learn, go to the live sessions. Every week we're doing it either Saturday or Sunday, and practice with our questions that are specifically tailored to the LPN side. Okay.
Okay, sir. I have
Any
a
other
glimpse
question?
of what the questions looked like because my sister is also doing it. I introduced her to the program, so she's currently on it. I think she has gotten her eligibility to do the exam. So she's supposed to write that exam in March, but I don't know what they're saying if she's not going to write it, that she has not made her payments. But she got her, after she did paid for her CLPNN, created an account and paid about 200 and something dollars or thereabouts, Canadian dollars, and she got her the eligibility, the CRP, something like that, NE for her.
CLPNNL.
Yes, to write the exam.
Oh, so CPNRE is the national exam, and has she done by herself or is she with us?
She's with you. She's with you people. Her name is Chinecherem. She's with you
What's her
people.
name again?
Her name is Chinecherem. Chinecherem.
Oh,
She's
okay. Got it. Okay, all right. Okay, got it. Okay.
so
All right.
I wanted to know if at this stage, because I'm a bit behind her, she's doing it. However, her husband is supporting her, but I'm doing mine too. I just got my own evaluation from ICES. So I want to do the CLPNN registration and pay so that I can book for the exam. So, but what I'm asking is, from the time that we book for the exam and write the exam and pass, how long would it take for us to get the job? Or is the job already available? Is one of the things I would like to know. And if the job is available, from what time to what time will it take for the candidate to get a job and then get a work permit and then probably travel, move to Canada?
So, well, if I be a little conservative, the moment that you pass the exam, you can probably be here within 6 months. So getting the offer, the immigration, the process, and you be here, that can happen within 6 months. And that will give enough time for you to be able to be ready to move, because I'm sure that moving to Canada is a big, big chapter change in your chapter. So there are, a lot of things that needs to be packed and all that. So within 6 months is going to be a good timeline that I can say.
Okay, then I have one more suggestion. The last time I spoke to Christina, I was telling her that I referred a lot of people from Nigeria, a lot of nurses from Nigeria, and she made mention of a code, a promo code, something like that. That if you refer people, whenever you want to enroll for the class, the promo code will be used to make subsidy for you. So though I have not yet enrolled in the class, I'm waiting to finish up with this LPN registration and pay before I
Oh, you're
enroll.
asking about the discount code, right?
Yes.
So what
And
we'll do is we'll give you all the discount code for everyone who attended the class today. Okay.
okay, so and can I also help your organization to advertise, because there are a lot of people that are here in Nigeria who have no idea about this process and who might be interested, however,
Well,
but they don't
the,
know about it.
I'd appreciate if you could do that. I mean, I cannot really, of course, force you to do that, but if you do that, with your good heart, and I will take it. And as advised to all of you during the session, we are actually reaching out to like universities and all that to partner so that we can actually help new students and alumni and all that. So we are making a progress in that regard. So if you guys have any other people that want to join us, please do. That'll be really appreciated.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I will do that on my own end. I will
Thank
tell
you very
people about
much.
it. You're
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
welcome.
also,
Hello, I would like to also ask some questions, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, thanks for waiting.
Okay, I sent some message to the group, but it was not attended to. But part of
let
it
me
was asked by
let
Oge.
me
Oge
let
just
me
asked part of the question.
let me
My
check
own
here.
concern is the processing time, the processing timeline. But I think you have said something about it. After passing the exam, it will take about 6 months for one to land in Canada. So my own other
So
question is. My other question is the cost. What is the cost of all of your process? What does it cost for one to from start to finish? I would like to know, please.
so for the
And then
live session,
sorry for interrupting. Secondly, are you assuring us that that there are employers waiting for us to when we apply that we'll get the job? Because it's sort of a concern to me based on what one of us just said now. It's not about passing the exam. It's
okay.
about getting jobs and moving to
Yeah, of course.
Canada.
So
And all these things are investment that one put in. When you
of
put
course.
in money, if you don't actualize your aim, it's as if you just wasted the money. Most of us have
So
put our
the
hands in so many of these processes that we are stuck in. So if you are showing us that there are employers waiting
okay.
for us to do
So
this thing, then there's no issue.
sure.
The
Okay. Well,
cost
let me
and
answer the
the
question for you.
assurance, that's
So to answer the question, we do actively hiring the LPNs, and we're actually, so I'm also going to Halifax next week for the nursing home conference, because we're one of the corporate partners of the association. So what that means is we have the booth, and we're going to be presenting to our employers or the nursing homes that, so here's a database of people that are working with us. And okay, well, let's see if we can have the good candidates. Here's the bottom line: everyone here will be putting into the pipeline within our system. So knowing or not knowing, you guys will be competing to each other in a good way. And that's why job markets can change anytime. And right now, we're looking for about like 30 LPNs in Newfoundland alone. And Nova Scotia, we are trying to gauge the number of positions right now. So to answer the question, yes, we have the jobs at this time right now, but the moment that you are getting your full license next couple of months, we have to see how many, or how many employers or how many positions are going to be available at that time. So, but as I said, the demands are high. That means being prepared, which means you have the license, is going to be your asset and your weapon to be able to get an opportunity, especially you're working with us. And in terms of the cost, so cost for joining the our platform, it's around $100, and that will run about 12 weeks. So there is a weekly subscription too, that it's about 825, which is going to be US dollars. So 825, you're accessing all the videos, materials, exam materials, and live session with the educators, asking questions, case studies. And the reason that we have this price system is because I want you guys all to pass and succeed and move on to the next step. And after that, we're gonna be working on the immigration piece. And what I could advise you is our legal team is gonna work with you, especially putting on the contingency payment plans, which means you don't have to pay all the legal fees upfront. Legal fees will be divided into a couple different payments, which means you have an opportunity to work with the legal team to pay some deposit at the beginning of the legal process for permanent residency and work permits. And you can also organize to make the payments once you come here and start working for the company. So there is a flexibility that we offer. Usually legal fees are not based on the contingency payment plans because of the amount of work that is being put on in the beginning, but we try to accommodate a lot of candidates that work with us so that their payment plans are available for your information. I got a lot of questions here. So Ola, Dooney, Mary. So yes, you are able to apply for all, even if you RN and psychiatry. Yeah, yes, you can apply. We have a number of people that actually are majored or expertise in psychiatry, so you can do that. And in terms of PTE, Duolingo is not acceptable, so you have to get PTE. Ned, Mickey, please, after West, do you have? No, 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 no. It's either one or the other, West or ICES. So if you choose to do West, that's fine. If you already have ICES report, then that's it for the ECA portion. You don't have to do both. And okay, so we talked about true merit. So Ruth, the exam, no, it doesn't have to be 7 all throughout. But what I'm trying to recommend is that try to get as high as possible, which will show that there is a good part of the language part. It's also not academic. It's a general exam. So please don't get confused with that. Please, do you have any official page like WhatsApp? So Adua, I'm sorry if I don't say your name correctly. I'm sorry about that. We do have a WhatsApp group for the group classes. We don't have classes for, and also we're gonna have the community where you can share the thoughts and stuff within the dashboard. So once you sign up, yes, we have the community and the WhatsApp group that will be created for you and the rest of the people. I'm interested in employment. Okay. Linda, I'm interested in employment after passing. Yes. So we organize employment, with our clients in the country. So that's going to be our part. Can we use OET? OET is not acceptable, Isaac. It's either PTE or IELTS or CELPIP. Age limit, Judy. So For the nomination process, it's up to 55. However, you have to understand that the hospitals and the employers also look at the retention piece, how long these people can really be working with us. So I suggest anywhere up to 50 to be fine, but that's not something that I can control. So usually from my side, it's between 30 to 40 have a greater chance than any other age groups, because there's the prime the group for experience, the language, longevity, and the prime. So that's just my information. IELTS, I answered the question for general exam. So Sika, that's a great question. How long can it take for LPN to change it to RN? So first, you can still pursue RN license even if you are working as LPN, but the transition can only be made once you become a permanent resident, because you are sponsored as an LPN, not as RN. So your work permit is restricted to working as LPN only. So you're not able to, or employers not able to offer the RN position until you become a permanent resident. I hope I answered that question for you. Is there a route for care assistant? Daniela, I would probably recommend you to work as a nurse, because the PCA and the care position is not something that is going to be expedited. So we don't want to be adding up another uncertainty for the employers and yourself to choose which pathway, because we have to remember that immigration piece is always there for you to be able to you to consider, and that's always a problem for many. uh Telope, Quinola, I already have NCLEX RN. So yes, you have to sit for LPN exam still, even if you have RN license. But what I can say is, as long as you understand the scope difference between RN and LPN, LPN exam is entry to practice exam, so it should be much easier in terms of the difficulty. But a lot of people struggles not because they don't have that information, it's because of the change in the scope. So as long as you master that, you'll be fine, but you still have to take the exam. Where from the sponsorship something I have solely paid for? I don't understand the question, Gloria. Could you clarify your question for me? Ruth, ICAS is also okay. Is Gloria still there? Hey, Gloria. If you have any questions, you can let me know. But
Hello,
I didn't.
please let me ask I'm Gloria.
Hi, Gloria.
My question is that when you were talking, you said once you get the LPN license, you are restricted. You can't use your RN license to practice because you have been sponsored. So that was why I sent a message that where from the sponsorship, because from the start to the end, the person is going to pay for everything. So why do they have to restrict
So
your license to only the LPN? Thank
the
you.
reason is the offer determines everything. If you receive the job offer as LPN, that information will be connected to the immigration piece, and in turn that'll be also be on your mark on your work permit. That means other than the occupation stipulated on your legal work permit, you're not able to work for any other occupations. So that's why I meant by sponsorship. You are basically offered the position by any employer in Canada for LPN. So that is a legal requirement that you're not able to work for any other occupation until that condition is removed, and which means the condition can be only removed once you become a permanent resident. So that's why you can only work as RN or NP or any other occupation, even for the employer, once you become a permanent resident. And I hope that answered your question, Gloria.
Yes, it's been answered. Thank you.
All right. So Andy, you didn't get True Merit side. So okay, True Merit. What I told the folks was True Merit itself is recognized for NNAS, which is a mandatory report to be submitted to all the provincial nursing regulatory bodies except for Newfoundland. Newfoundland has waived the NNS requirement, so that's the information that we need to confirm whether True Merit, the ECA report, is acceptable to Newfoundland or not. If it is acceptable, we can still use it. If not, we rather go through other province to start the LPN license application, which is recognized through NNAS report. That's what I mentioned, Andy. Ola Doni Mary. So can a person without bachelor science in nursing but has could you clarify it again? My understanding is that you still need to have either the 3-year advanced diploma in nursing or 4-year nursing degree to be able to work as RN in your country. Is that not correct? Is that something that I need a little more information about? I simply do not want to, misprovide or misinform you the requirement part. So okay, seek a seal. Okay, so the cost of process. So the legal paper will be cost about 4,000 to 5,000 Canadian dollars. That's for your work permits, PMP, and permanent residency for your family and yourself throughout the process until you become a permanent resident. So that will depend on the size of your family, the complexity of your application, documentation, which will have to be assessed by the legal team before they can provide the right cost for the legal paperwork. But as I mentioned, I have instructed the legal team to work on the pricing part so that you don't get all the one-time payment to be paid before you come here. So that payment plans will be organized by the legal team and yourself directly in the future. She said 3. Yeah, that is acceptable. B shade. That if that's the case, that is okay. That'll be fine. But I recommend both diplomas to be assessed by the organization so that that can be recognized. So if that's the case, you'll be fine. Folks, we have spent a good amount of time today to go over the process together. Um, so Isaac, until you submit your application and be in our platform, you're not going to be getting the updates from us. So if you are interested in starting the process with us, please use the link that was provided by Christina above so that you can at least submit the application, be in touch with our team to understand the rest of the process. But as I said, I appreciate your time today and your questions and your feedback. It's my pleasure. And if you have any questions in the future, you can submit the application. Our team will be reaching out to you, and we have our advisor from Ghana named Isaac. So we have an office in Ghana. So our company is incorporated in Ghana. So mainly for Ghanaians, Isaac Apia, our representative for the Western Africa, will be in touch with you guys, and most likely for Nigeria as well. So we are going to be in touch, but we are not going to be able to touch with you unless you submit the application to us. So please submit it, and we'll be in touch. Okay. Hi, Lucy. We are actually we've covered all the information for today. I believe your you attended the previous session. So it's almost identical to what we talked about in the past. How long is the process? That depends where you are at with the application. Normally, I said to all of us, all of the attendees here today, that the moment that you have you pass the exam, we can get you here within 6 months. So the critical period is that get everything done from ECA and the documentation perspective now, if you have not started yet, so that we can move on with the next stage right away. The key is avoid the delay that you can control. Of course, government or the nursing board we cannot control, but something that we can control, we can do that. So Lucy, if you have any questions, you can reach out to one of our team members. I'm sure that you have a contact, so we can be in touch. Okay. And we are also going to put this session video on our YouTube channel, so you guys will be informed as soon as this is available. So if anybody missed the portion or the part, any information that you want to rewind, you can find in the future. Okay. Where can we write the exam? Online. So that'll be my last response. You can take the exam online at a secure place like your house, because that'll be remote proctoring by Pearson VUE or like any other proctoring company. So LPN exam is done remotely through online proctoring. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.